half in the bag. Ooh, get fucked.
La 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 la. All right, got some candy for the kids.
We're back.
Oh!
Oh my God.
Oh, God, help me. Oh, I can't get up.
Oh my God, what happened?
I knocked Mr. Plinkett down. I hit him with the fucking door.
Holy shit. Should we help him up?
What?
Mr. Plinkett, should we help him off the goddamn ground?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Plinkett, are you
Oh my God! Are you okay?
I'll be fine. I'm a little startled, but I think I'll be okay.
I think Mr. Plinkett's dead.
You know, we just get back into his house. We have a new opportunity to steal money from him again, and this happens. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh. Look, it's a Medicare check. You know, I've heard stories about people that collect these for years after some old fuck dies. We could just do that.
Jay, you're a gentleman and a scholar.
So how are we gonna get rid of his dead body? We could maybe feed him to pigs, or dump him in a vat of acids. Maybe throw him in some wet concrete.
All those options are too hard, and they require us to leave the house.
Yeah.
Let's just bury him under the floorboards. We can cover up the smell of decomposition with the new Mariah Carey perfume.
Won't that just make the smell worse?
Yes.
Well, that should do it.
All right, good work. Now we just sit back, relax, and let the free money flow in. It's so easy that it's scary.
Hey, speaking of Ethan Hawke's daughter murdering him and his entire family, have you seen Sinister?
Spoilers!
New details today in the grisly murders of a local family found earlier this week.
I didn't want to move here.
We couldn't afford to live in the old house anymore. Plus, the new story I'm writing is here.
Is the story a good one this time?
I'm gonna write the best book that anybody's ever read.
In Sinister, Ethan Hawke plays a true crime novelist that unnecessarily moves his entire family into the home of a recent mass murder to try and write a book about the unsolved crime. It turns out that not only this murder, but a series of murders dating back centuries are the evil work of a demonic creature called Bughuul, played by a former member of the band Slipknot. Despite your first impressions based on the fact that the movie's villain is named Bughuul, the movie is, in fact, not a comedy. Mike, what did you think of Sinister?
You know, I have to go with the middle of the road reaction here, which is the least interesting of reactions.
Yeah.
But had some scary stuff in it, had some really kind of scenes that seemed overly long, redundant, definitely lots of redundant dialogue. And good performances though.
Yeah, middle of the road is the same reaction I had. It's, if you're looking for a movie to see in theaters around Halloween time, like a scary movie, it's completely acceptable as that. It's a passable Halloween movie.
You gotta be kidding me. Family hanging out. Barbecue 79. That's the family who lived here.
Yeah, the Bughuul, the plot is, like you said, Ethan Hawke moves his family into a murder house. The film opens with kind of a real creepy, genuinely creepy, well done image of a family being hung from a tree.
Yeah.
And then he finds like 8mm films up in the attic of other murders, and that stuff is well done. The 8mm film looks authentic. It doesn't look like a cheap video effect that they added to something else.
Yeah.
They may have actually shot those things on 8mm.
It looked pretty good.
Yeah, very grainy, very creepy.
Well, it's also the way the scenes were executed of him watching it. Like, I like the fact that the footage is just silent and you just hear the projector running.
Yeah.
And it's also accompanied by what I always like in horror movies, where it's sort of a combination of score and ambient noise, where you're not sure at times if it's part of the music or if it's just like creepy ambient noise. And I thought those scenes did that really well.
You think these are serial murders?
I don't know. First one I found dates back to the 60s.
link between all these cases is the symbol.
The symbol is associated with a pagan deity named Bagul. He consumes the souls of human children.
Bagul is where the problems come in, because the opening stuff is creepy, but then there's no sort of attempt to make it much of a mystery. It's like, oh, it's a demon. There's not that. Is it, you know,
a real person?
Is it a real person? Is it someone imitating this Bagul thing? It's just a demon.
Yeah.
And it's a dumb-looking demon, and his name is Bagul, and every time they said his name, I chuckled.
The movie runs out of steam in the middle, towards the end, when there's a mystery set up where he's looking through the film footage, and then he's kind of figuring out the series of events. Of course, you know it's Bagul because we've seen the trailer. But
yeah, that's another thing. They give it all away in the trailer.
But yeah, the trailer is like, he has the video chat with the expert on ancient symbols, and he's like, it's a demon named Bagul. And then that part really kind of shattered a lot of tension for me, because that guy, he's like, yeah, you have a Bagul problem. Here's what the thing is. He eats children or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay. I would have preferred him like opening some old textbook in like the library and dusting it off.
They don't do that in movies anymore.
No, they have to do it on Skype.
They do they do Google searches.
Yeah, Skype really doesn't make something horrific.
No.
No, but so he tells him he has a Bagul problem, and then you're like, how do I solve the Bagul problem? I don't know.
No.
He doesn't know. No one knows. There's no like conflict resolution issues happening. It's, do you have a Bagul problem? Yell at your wife. That will create dramatic tension, is shouting.
Yeah, it has that problem of drama is shouting in a lot of scenes. There's a scene that seems to go on forever where him and his wife are arguing in the bedroom. And it's just like the same argument over and over, and the scene feels like it's 10 days long.
It's fairly realistic, though, because lots of arguments are people shouting the same thing over and over again.
Sure, but in a movie like this, that's not very compelling.
No.
Early Christians believed that Bagul actually lived in the images themselves, and that they were gateways into his realm. Children exposed to the images were especially vulnerable to Bagul's abduction.
Sweetheart, what are you doing?
Painting. I wanted to paint her picture.
Who are you talking about?
Stephanie. She used to live here.
I found that element more interesting. The washed-up true crime novelist,
yeah, I like
who hasn't
that
had a hit novel in 10 years, and he's like, the wife's saying, you know, hey, maybe you should go back to writing textbooks, and he's like, so that part where he moves the family into the house, I was okay with.
Well, his character I was okay with.
Yeah.
The fact that he's sort of a dick to his family, I was okay with. But like, considering they're sort of having financial issues because he hasn't written a hit book in so long, like, why would he move into this? Why would he buy a house?
Yeah.
Why would he move his entire family across the country? It's just really bizarre to me.
I think they were going for a thing where the writer would prosper more in the actual house creatively. And it was sort of like, I think it was a Bagul thing, like sort of like a, you know,
some sort of creepy demonic influence?
Yes. In the logic of the movie, like one family's killed, and then they're killed in the house of the former family that was in there, who was killed in a former house. Where it's like Bagul has like a link from each murder scene to the next.
Yeah.
And I think maybe there was some sort of, like demonic influence. Perhaps.
What did he do before houses?
I think people have always lived in houses.
Always?
Yeah. The Bagul dates back to the Middle Ages, they said in the movie.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was even older than
that. I think they said that. But maybe, yeah. Eventually Bagul ended up in the United States. He was on like the Mayflower.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Mr. Plinkett's Halloween dish fell over.
Yeah, all by itself. That's really weird.
It's not even candy. It's filled with bolts and nuts and stuff.
Do you think Plinkett did that on purpose, or he just doesn't know what he's doing?
He might just be delusional.
Well, it's probably a good thing that we killed him then.
Yeah. Back to the Bagul movie.
Yes.
I like the idea of a true crime novelist trying to write his next novel in the site of a murder scene, and I like the ideas of the murders. I like the 8mm films, the events, how people were killed.
The ways people were killed were genuinely disturbing, yeah.
Just the one thing that didn't work for me was the supernatural element.
Yeah.
The Bagul, the whole like, he eats children, the eater of children. Bagul really reminded me of Ghostbusters cartoon show villain. Like Egon's going to come out with Tobin's spirit guide and say, "This is Bagul, the eater of children." Oh, woo.
It's funny because when I saw the trailer, they say that the demon's named Bagul. I immediately thought of the made-for-Disney movie from the 80s called Mr. Boogedy. It's like, Bagul sounds like Mr. Boogedy. And then in the movie, they show the little kids' drawings, and they call him Mr. Boogie. Like, really?
I think they're maybe implying that that's where the name Boogeyman came from.
I suppose.
It's from Bagul.
Yeah.
But yeah, the name kind of sounds stupid. The look of him, yeah.
He looked a little silly.
It looked a little silly. The children with the makeup on was not creepy as so much looked like little kids with Halloween makeup on. There was no steps to take to stop the Bagul. And in order to stop, like Nightmare on Elm Street, okay. Freddy kills people in your dreams. I have an idea. I'm going to fall asleep and I'm going to grab Freddy because I've learned from previous scenes that I grabbed Freddy's hat and I was able to pull it into the real world. Yeah. So I'm going to attempt to grab Freddy in my dream and you wake me up and hit him with a baseball bat. There's a plan. It didn't quite work out that way. No. But they had a plan. Right. And in this movie there is no kind of plan, and you know, without giving away the ending.
We already gave away the ending.
Yeah. So, yeah, it just sort of ends.
It just sort of ends, yeah.
What's the matter? What's happened?
Get the kids, pack the car. We have to leave here now.
So one thing I really liked about this movie was the main character, played by Ethan Hawke. I appreciate...
What? The fuck?
Oh my god. Must be a brownout or something. Huh. You know, I never noticed how creepy Plinkett's house was when the lights are off.
Yeah. I've never noticed that weird green vampire mist outside his window.
Oh, weird.
Well, hopefully it doesn't get inside and turn us into vampires.
Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, I really liked Ethan Hawke in the movie. I liked his character. I liked that they weren't too worried about making him overly sympathetic. It seems like the lead characters in a lot of these type of movies are just horribly generic, but he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
He's an alcoholic. He's more concerned with fame at this point than he is his family's well-being.
Yeah. There's a nice little moment when he's like, "This is my legacy. My books are my legacy." And she's like, "No, your wife and kids are your legacy."
You fucking
your
asshole.
Children. Yeah. It's an interesting character, lead for a horror movie, and well, he got what he deserved in the end, didn't he?
So, Mike, would you recommend Bagul, the movie?
You know, I'm going to go with a no on this one. It wasn't a bad movie, but I can't recommend a movie just because it wasn't bad. I can only...
Well, you have done that before.
I guess so, yeah. But with this one, I'm going to make an exception. You know...
it depends on the movie.
It depends on the movie. Yeah, this one, it was good. It had some really scary moments in it, some really creepy visuals. Overall, though, I didn't get much out of it. And, you know, I wouldn't recommend spending $50 in an outing at the movie when you can watch this on Netflix in 2 months from now. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Because it wasn't like, if you want to go see a good scary movie for Halloween, it's fun. Definitely see this over Paranormal Activity 4. But, you know, it's in the middle. So, Jay, would you recommend Bagul 2, Electric Bagoolaloo?
Bagul 2, the Baguquel? Oh no. Well, yeah, like you said, it is very middle of the road, which is sort of the worst kind of movie, because it's not terribly memorable. If you really like horror films and you're one of those people that just likes to see a horror movie in the theater around Halloween time, I guess I would recommend it. Yeah. It's got some creepy visuals. It's got some good stuff in it. Sort of a mix between that and the bad stuff.
It'd be nice to take some of these horror visuals and put them in a better script.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, not that the script was awful, it was serviceable, but...
It was kind of lame.
Yeah.
So overall, unmemorable, but it has its moments, and I don't know, blah. You hear that? It's
Sounds like sounds like whispering.
Yeah.
Where's it coming from? It's like the TV's off.
You know, Mike, I think Plinkett's house might be haunted.
Oh, sorry. I belched. I have a rapid heartbeat from indigestion.
Oh, I thought for a second there maybe you felt guilty or something.
Guilty about what?
About when we buried Plinkett under the floorboards?
Why would I feel guilty about that?
I don't know.
Did you hear that? Oh my God. I think Plinkett's house might be haunted. I should call someone.
Who are you gonna call?
Paranormal investigators?
Oh.
Hi there.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm Zach,
I'm Liz.
and we're from Wamopiers. Wamopiers.
Yeah.
Wisconsin and Milwaukee area Paranormal Research and Investigation Society.
Wow.
This place is haunted. Can you make it not haunted anymore?
It's not that simple. We have to determine what kind of haunting it is before we can do anything about it.
Right, we'll gather some evidence and decide what your best course of action is. Whether you need to help a lost soul cross over, or get a priest in here to perform a blessing, and so on.
What the fuck is a priest?
It's,
Who are these people?
Any information you have about the history of the house would be useful. Has anyone passed here recently?
If by past you mean I accidentally knocked them over and then a cabinet fell on them, crushing their skull, then no.
Well, we'll begin our investigation then. If you guys want to come back in a couple hours, we'll let you know what we find.
Okay, all right. You want to go see a movie?
Sure, what should we see?
I want to see that new movie called Here Comes the Boom, starring Kevin Smith.
Oh my God.
Oh, how about Paranormal Activity 4? I really, really want to see that one.
Those movies are an insult to us and our profession.
Wow. If these fucking weirdos don't want to see it, maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, I would go see this movie.
Let's go see Paranormal Activities 4.
Okay, let's go.
This is EVP session number 1. Is anyone here?
Is there anyone here that would like to talk to us?
Did you die here?
Did you hear that? Oh, I just got a spike on the EMF.
Let's go back to the ghost lab and examine the audio.
Zach, come here, I found something.
What is it?
Here, listen to this.
It sounds like he's saying he's in pain.
Yeah, but that's not all. Here, listen to this.
This is amazing. We have a Class A EVP. We might actually have an intelligent haunting. We should get back to Old Man Plinkett's house.
Right. Hang on, I want to show you something else first.
All right. That's a sweet track.
I know, right?
Let's boogie.
Okay.
It's the new kid from across the street.
His name is Robbie.
Yeah. His mom went in the hospital. So he's just gonna stay with us?
He has no relatives.
I don't know. I've never met his mom.
I can't believe we just watched Paranormal Activity 4.
Oh, speaking of paranormal, I wonder how Liz and Zach are doing.
Who? Paranormal Activity 4 is the new Paranormal Activity movie. It's about 90 minutes long and features actors pretending to be other people in a fictional setting called a movie. In this movie, something haunts people, and then things happen. The scariest of which is the fact that people actually paid money to see this movie. Jay, what did you think of Paranormal Activity 4?
They should just call it the new Paranormal Activity movie. They should say another one. That should be the name of the movie.
They should call it Paranormal Inactivity.
Yes.
Because nothing fucking happens in the movie.
I'm willing to bet you're the first person to ever make that joke, too.
You think so?
Probably. Yeah, oh my God. Well, this movie sucked, first of all. We'll start with that.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
This movie was utterly devoid of anything cinematic, anything scary, anything interesting.
Well, in reference to your cinematic comment you just made, I think that's part of the gimmick, of course.
I understand that, but...
Yeah, the first movie, well, it should be noted, I think you and I have both seen Paranormal 1 and 2?
Yes.
And 4, but not the third one.
I saw the first Paranormal Activity back when it was first released. I saw the second one because it was the only one that was on Netflix. I watched it in preparation for seeing the new one, for this review, basically. And the pattern emerged very, very quickly into the second one. And there's movies that are successful that I may hate, but I can understand why they're successful. But when it comes to these movies, I for lack of any better expression, I just don't fucking get it. I do not get what anyone sees in these movies. They are so boring.
What's he doing?
Yeah, the first one is low budget. It had a couple of little, like, oh, the doors slowly closing. Like, I really didn't get it, like, as far as what was scary about it.
No. Well, the thing about the first one is it shows, he's recording every night while they sleep to see if something happens. So they show the footage of them sleeping, and there's the timestamp, and it's sped up because they're running through the night, and then it goes to normal time. And the minute that timestamp slows down to normal time, you're like, okay, something's gonna happen now.
Yeah.
Why else would they slow it to normal speed?
Let's examine this, Jay.
Okay.
Let's examine why people like these movies. And I was thinking about it, and there is nothing inherently scary about the Paranormal Activity movies. Because I am interested in Paranormal Activity. I watch a lot of those ghost investigation shows. I'm kind of curious about it. I find it interesting. And I think I might be a little desensitized because I watch a lot of those ghost hunting shows.
Okay.
Where they actually, whether or not you believe it or not, it's up to you, but whether or not they capture like real evidence or shows about real stories of ghost hauntings.
Yeah.
You say this is this, you believe them or not, whatever, but they're portraying it as a real story. In the movie context, it's fictional, and it's not real. So what is scary about it? It's not any kind of ideas, because The Shining isn't real, but that's a scary movie.
Well, that's because it's cinematic and there's craftsmanship involved. There's more to it than just shots of empty rooms and then a chair moves.
Mm-hmm. The chair moving in itself isn't scary. The fact that a paranormal entity might be moving the chair is scary. But that's only scary if it's an actual video in real life.
Right.
In the movie version of security camera footage catching ghost things, there's nothing scary about it.
No. And those sequences make up about 5% of each of these movies.
Right.
And the other 95% is inane dialogue, shots of people sitting around doing nothing, shots of empty rooms.
Yeah.
It is the least, it's like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
It is so boring. And this is the first one we saw in the theater. And I was curious to see it in the theater because I wanted to see how a general audience reacts, like what the purpose of going to these movies is. Mm-hmm. Because these scares in these movies are, the definition of a jump scare. They are dead silence, dead silence, dead silence, loud noise, or sudden burst of action. And that is not scary on any sort of psychological level. What it is startling. It's a loud noise. You're jumping because of a loud noise after being lulled into boredom from the rest of the movie. So we were watching the fourth one in the theater, and we noticed that people were just sort of chatting during most of the movie, when it's just like people sitting around or a boring dialogue about whatever, daily life stuff. But then when it would show like someone sleeping, flat angle, everyone would go,
Yeah.
They were anticipating it, and then something would happen, whatever. The knife fell from the ceiling, or the chair moved, or whatever. And everyone would go, ah! And then they go back to chatting. Why would you waste money on getting that experience?
It reminds me of that baby video on the internet when the baby laughs. when the dad goes blong, blong, and the baby's just waiting, and he's like happy, and he's like. I compare these movies to a haunted house. You know it's not haunted. You go in it and it has the environment of scary things, but really you're not scared of the plastic Dracula in the coffin.
Yeah.
You're scared when the plastic Dracula pops out of the coffin and startles you.
Yeah.
That's but it's in the environment of a haunted house. These movies aren't even in that environment. They're in like rich white people's houses.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing scary about your in-ground swimming pool. I'm not scared. Like, I know what they're trying to do in the first one. And with the first one, I'm like, okay, I'm watching it, and I'm like, I know this is a low-budget movie. Is this the only location they had to film in? Is this the guy's house that made the movie? I don't know. Because it's a rich white people house. And somewhere in San Diego, California. And I'm like, okay, or is the idea that it's scary because hauntings can happen anywhere, even in rich white people homes? Is that what their angle is? Because really, like, you could had the movie be like where this couple moves into a new old Victorian mansion in New England somewhere, you know, and they're like, we hear creaking sounds, let's start setting up video cameras. And for me, that would have been better, because at least would have had a better environment. But I think they were going for this can happen anywhere kind of thing.
The contrast between scary
but
things
then
and...
it continues to happen in the next 3 films, or at least the second and fourth one.
Yeah.
The fourth one is same thing. It's wealthy white people
that have an infinite number of laptops.
Why
do they have so many laptops?
Look at that. What is that?
Looks like a triangle with a circle in it.
Right there. That's it. I mean, what does it mean?
He does not like you.
What? Who doesn't like me?
You'll find out.
Wyatt, you need to tell me what's going on.
I don't want you to get hurt.
The first one was a guy with a video camera filming things. The second one was we got our house broken into, so let's set up 16 security cameras inside our house, which is completely irrational. No one wants a camera filming them in their living room. You fucking set up a security camera outside of your house, aimed away from it at the entrances.
Yeah.
You don't film your own living room. It's completely ridiculous, but you can shrug it off in the logic of the movie, whatever. And the fourth one is, everyone always has a camera on them at some point, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that raises another question, is who's editing this footage?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, in the fourth one, it really drove me nuts, because they were constantly cutting on dialogue. There's lots of, like, jump cuts. It's like, why are you editing it this way?
Yeah.
Why would you edit it this way?
Oh, because
that makes it more real?
They're trying to
The best part was when the woman in front of us, when a line of dialogue got cut off at the end of its sentence, and this was after multiple earlier jump cuts, and she just goes, "What's going on?" It's like, you've lost your audience, movie.
Don't worry, Jay. They've lost their audience and they've turned on them. It's hard to examine because you can say what makes something scary, and it's like saying why is something funny.
Yeah, it's obviously very subjective.
It's subjective, and it's a human emotion reaction to something. Like, that's creepy. Well, someone else might not find that creepy. Then you say, why is it creepy? And people go, because it's creepy.
Yeah.
These movies, it's loud noises.
It's the jump scare thing, yeah, and that's, as I said before, that's startling. That's not scary to me. Creepy to me is the stuff that sort of sticks with you and gets under your skin, and you're thinking about it days later. These are movies where they're built entirely around a loud noise startling you, and nothing else.
It's a haunted house ride. I want to go on the Paranormal Activity Universal Studios tour.
Oh, sure.
Where you just walk around like a rich person's house, and then... Oh, fuck. Did that come from up? Oh. That's a really nice kitchen. Like, I really like your... Oh. Did that door just open itself? That must be the automated system in the house. It's really advanced. It's like this, it knows someone's not in the room, so it closes it. No, a ghost did that. What? Okay, the tour's over. Thank you. And you sit in a little car, and it goes slowly through the kitchen. And the mother's in the kitchen washing the dishes, and you're going by the... These are really nice granite countertops. See, we just had them put in. Okay, we're going in the living room now. Dad's on the couch watching the football game. Hey, did you see that? There's the little kid standing on the top of your stairs. What? Oh, now they're gone. That scared me, right? What was that?
Oh my God!
This movie makes Jack and Jill look like a modern masterpiece of effort.
Do you ever think you would be saying that?
No. No, I have not felt such cynicism since Jack and Jill.
You feel cheated watching this, yeah, because the first movie, it was a low-budget thing, established as its own style. I think what got that movie so big was the marketing behind it. Because they were sort of promoting it. I mean, it was being released in Paramount Pictures, their major studio. It got picked up by a studio, but they were promoting it as like this little movie. And
it's going to frighten you.
It's going to frighten you. They showed the audience reaction shots of people gasping. And they also had this thing online where you had to go to their website and demand that it come to your city. Like this little movie, it can't get to your city unless you demand it. So they built this hype around it. Like, oh man, this is going to be the most terrifying thing ever. I want to make sure it comes to my city. Like it's almost an audience participation before you even get into the theater. And it's all hype. It was all marketing.
Yeah.
More so than the actual product.
Well, that's the thing is most audience members probably won't think about that element, and that's what I'm thinking about when I watch it. I'm like, there's no opening credits, there's no music, there's nothing in this movie, and they're shooting it on video, of course, of some kind, and the plot. A lot of it, the first like 20 minutes, I'm watching it, and there's people like playing in the pool. They're talking about getting dinner and groceries, and you say like, well, that's them just establishing the characters and stuff like that. I don't even know if they had a script, and I'd be sure they did, but they just start filming people like, you know, and it's like, this isn't doing anything. Like, you know, the basic rule is like, every line of dialogue in a movie or every scene should advance the plot in some way. And that this feels like filler.
Yeah.
Like just like, okay, here's these people live in a house.
Well, you can make a movie
The mom's cooking dinner.
Yeah, you can make a movie that doesn't follow the rules, and you can make a movie that's sort of unconventional, but that doesn't feel like what this is doing at all. Well, it gets to that point of familiarity. And that's, I think, the case with this series. Oh, it's
Brand
Halloween.
recognition.
Yeah, it's Halloween. There's another Paranormal Activity movie out. I'll go see that because those are scary, in theory.
But they're not, though. That's
no,
the
they're
thing.
not. That's the and it's they're clearly scary to someone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I can see the concept of like a movie done in this way with the camera footage and stuff, and doing it too intense, too quickly, would sort of really just shatter it.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much you can do with lockdown camera footage. And the second you have the door blow open and the bed float above the room and all this wind go everywhere, and the second you do that, you're done.
Yeah.
And so I could see them doing it slowly, but they don't even build up to that.
No.
They build up to someone pushing someone into a camera and then going, rah, and then it ends.
Yeah.
That's what they build up to over the course of an hour and a half.
Well, a good movie to compare this to then is, of course, The Blair Witch Project. That's kind of the movie that started the whole found footage thing. Technically, there's a movie called The Last Broadcast that came out first, but whatever. Blair Witch Project is the one that people saw and was a huge hit. That's a movie that is not really about the Blair Witch. It's not about the jump scares. It's not about... It's about people unraveling, and you really feel like you're watching that progress throughout the movie, and you're engaged in it because these feel like real people. And as we said before, you know it's a movie, but you're engaged more because there's something interesting happening with the characters, and the abrupt ending feels earned. With these movies, they feel like they exist solely for the abrupt ending. The last 5 seconds of the movie where someone looks at the camera and then they turn into a CGI demon face. And then that's the end of the movie. There's no characters to latch onto. There's nothing interesting happening. The Blair Witch Project is now not about the Blair Witch. The Paranormal Activity movies are about the paranormal activity.
It's a haunted house ride. And you know what? People eat it up. But really, like, I would understand if the Paranormal Activity movies were like one scene after the other of you know, like shit happening, like oh my god, the whole fucking house is shaking, like, but there's nothing intellectual or interesting or creative or engaging about any of these movies. It's simply people liking the fact that something scares them.
Yeah.
Smarter people know better. But at the same time, the movies are incredibly boring. So it becomes a catch-22. How do people that are easily bored and stupid like something that is so boring at the same time?
Yeah, this isn't even a case of us being like snobbish, like how could someone like that? It's more where I feel like an alien.
Right.
Like what planet am I on where people are enjoying this? Like, it's just so confusing to me.
Yeah, we kind of make fun of movies like Fast and Furious and stuff like that because they're not smart movies, but they're fast-moving. And I could see the appeal to people that like those kind of movies. But Paranormal Activity movies they're so boring. They're waiting for a noise?
They're waiting for exactly what they're expecting, which is the exact opposite of tension or drama or suspense. Well, what might be scary would be if we understood any sort of motivation of the demon or the coven of witches or whatever the fuck is going on. The whole point of this fourth movie is the girl from the first movie is now possessed by some sort of demon, and there's a whole coven of people that worship this demon, and the little kid that lives across the street, they want to get that kid.
They want to put a new demon into that kid.
Yeah.
It's like the plot to Ghostbusters 2.
So why is the demon fucking around for the whole movie? Why don't they just barge in and get the kid?
Yeah. Well, that's what I said in the movie. I'm like, why is the demon playing with the knife?
Yeah, there's a part in the movie where the mom's chopping stuff in the kitchen with a knife. She turns around and then you see the knife fly out of frame. Why is the demon even doing that? Like, what a horrible waste of time.
You know why, Jay?
Why?
Because scary.
Would you recommend Paranormal Activity 4? Would you recommend it to people?
As much as I would recommend having diarrhea.
I don't... What does that mean?
It's cold in here.
63 degrees and falling.
Did you hear that? Footsteps. Oh my God. I'm scared. Let's leave.
No! We have to find out what's here. We have to find out what's haunting this place.
You know, Jay, all this talk of paranormal activity has made me wonder how things are going over at the old Plinkett house.
Yeah, maybe we should check in with the paranormal investigators.
Yeah, but let's call first before we head over.
Okay.
Oh, hey guys.
Mr. Plinkett, you're not dead. I mean, you're covered in dirt.
We heard him scratching under the floorboards. Somebody buried him under there. What kind of monster would do that?
We urged him to go to the hospital, but he refused.
I'm fine. This happens to me all the time.
Turns out that you guys didn't have a ghost at all. It was just Mr. Plinkett under the floorboards making noise.
I thought I was in hell.
Well, it looks like our work here is done. Come on, Liz, we've got that AA meeting tonight.
Oh, right. Bye, guys.
Bye, thank you for your help. So, Mr. Plinkett, it appears that you're not dead after all.
I guess not. I just wish I could remember who the hell knocked me out and buried me under the fucking floor. Hey.
It was Blacks.
Oh, that makes sense.
The funny thing is, though, once the power went out, the house started acting like it was haunted. It was really weird. That's why we called the paranormal investigators.
Oh, but my house is haunted.
What?
What?
Look. Yeah, she's been here since I moved in. Her name's Sally or Samantha. I don't know, something stupid like that.
Sarah Johnson. I was killed with an axe.
She's been here the whole time. Don't you remember?
Was there always a ghost here?
There's a couple little digital, effects to enhance certain things, but for the most part, it was real.
Well, you always gotta come to my fucking house when you're on vacation. Can't you go to Florida or somewhere nice? There's fucking New Jersey. Who the fuck does that?
Oh. Wow, I need to stop drinking.
And I need to stop snorting Comet.
Occasionally she'll make the walls bleed, or she tells me to get out. Sometimes she'll make loud noises, but yeah, whatever. I'm used to it by now. I think she's just bored.
That gives me an idea. You missed the spot.